Call me successful.
Okay, thank you to our event sponsor, Oscar Hunt and Otto, the go-to drink supply for tonight for Call Me Successful. We're super delighted to announce that adventurer, thrill seeker, former Miss Australia of 2018, and successful agent with $100 million in sales joins us. Gemma White, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
How exciting.
Third time lucky.
Exactly. We've tried to get Gemma on the podcast a few times, and I've had to cancel, I think, most of them. Apologies. To kick us off, Gemma is one of the coolest people I've ever met. Easily. She skydives, she bungee jumps, she kicks ass, basically. And I thought she's the perfect person to people to come along and listen to, I think. Like, in real estate, it can be very cutthroat. It can be very all about success metrics and how much money we're making and how many sales we're making. But I think what you've done, Gemma, really, really well is you've balanced your life with cool adventures, with traveling the world and still being hyper successful. Do you want to give us a bit of a rundown on your life?
Mm-hmm.
You've had a few accolades, but let's go your brief sort of elevator pitch of where you've come from to now.
Yeah. Well, when I was young, I feel like I had a very normal upbringing. I spent a lot of my weekends boating, learning to water ski, wakeboard. So that's kind of where my adventurous side started. Once I left school, I went straight into real estate. I then backpacked 3 years later. I wanted to have the real estate experience so that I could always come back to it. But then I went and backpacked around Europe for 6 months. I saw 26 countries in that time. Now I've been to 48 countries. I've also, as you said, I've had a Miss Australia title. I've been on reality TV. I now jump out of aeroplanes for fun. But yeah, real estate's always been my main platform on, I guess, the wealth and the finance side of things, because you do need that in order to be able to live life to the extreme that, sometimes you forget to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And going through that list, you've done some really cool things. If we go to Miss Universe, firstly, that is insane. It's like, if I won Mr. Universe, I think I would give up. I would be like 130 kilos, button undone, and I think I'd be killing it. You've crushed it. So can you tell me, what did it take to win something like that?
Firstly, it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
Like anything, it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of persistence, a lot of patience, a lot of one foot in front of the other. I've done a lot of charity work and a lot of fundraising, a lot of events. I placed runner-up twice. Before that, I'd done a lot of like modeling, catwalks, pageants. But yeah, coming into being able to actually win a title, I'd done a lot of work on who I am as a person so that I can walk into a room, I can stand on my own 2 feet. It's the same thing in real estate it's like that 1, 2, 3, pick up the phone, make the phone call, send that email, make that connection, speak to that person. We're all just human. We're all trying to give it a crack. But when it comes to pageantry, a lot of like what that has taught me as well is to make sure that when you are trying to give it a go and you really want to pursue something, actually seeing it through. So often people give up halfway through. And I knew that I really wanted to represent Australia. So that's why I went overseas once I'd won my title, and I placed runner-up overseas. Okay. So the time was really disheartening. And after that, that's when I took a step back and went, well, what direction do I really want to take with this?
I love the runner-up. You were disappointed with that second. That's amazing. If we go past Miss Universe, so then I know you're an adventurer as well. So skydiving is massive for you. I've seen a lot of posts skydiving, jumping out of helicopters. It's nuts.
I've jumped out of an M17 heli, a C-130, over the pyramids in Egypt, over the K, which is an 80-meter patch of sand in the middle of the Great Barrier Reef. I've jumped out of helicopters at 4,000 feet and landed on Whitehaven Beach. But yeah, it's kind of, I take that same philosophy from what I do in skydiving, just jump and think about it later.
Why do you do that to yourself?
That's a good question. Every year I want to do something new.
Yeah.
So 2021 was a year I said, well, I'm going to learn to solo skydive.
Yep.
So I went ahead, I got my my skydiving license, and I feel like I'm still learning, and I've done 180 solo jumps. So I just feel like being a learner for life, and I feel like skydiving is one of those things that really teaches you that, because if you can always be learning, And I think every single day I learn something new, whether that's in business or in life. But the second that you're not learning and growing, you're dying.
Yeah. Has anyone here skydived? A couple. Has anyone bungee jumped? Yeah, nice. I saw a post of yours that you bungee jumped as well. You said it was the scariest thing you've ever done, which is interesting because I know you've just jumped out of helicopters 180 times. That's wild. What has bungee jumping done for you as well? That looked like you broke through a lot then.
Bungee jumping is one of those things I always said I never want to do.
Yeah.
So I went over to New Zealand. We'd gone on a ski trip. I didn't book it to do for myself because I never wanted to do it.
Ah.
So my partner booked it and he goes, "You'll be right." And he told me on the day. I'm like, "Okay, I'll be right. Jump and think about it later." So I got to the edge and I just like the ground is so close. And sometimes, and I feel like and I don't know whether men have that same kind of fear or that same kind of doubt, or we all have these little insecurities. Maybe it was an off day and I just stood on that edge and I physically felt like there was a brick wall in front of me and I couldn't jump. I had a meltdown twice. No one thought I was actually going to jump. And then I said to myself, just jump and think about it later.
Yep.
You jump out of aeroplanes, you do all of these weird and wonderful things that you've always done throughout your life. You've been on stages, you've walked catwalks, you've done all these things. You'll regret it if you don't.
Mm.
And I feel like it's always the regret or the what ifs. And the last thing I ever want to do is get to the end of my life and go, oh, I should have done more.
Yeah. So I just got back from New Zealand and I bungee jumped. I would say some inspiration from you, definitely. But I think it's a metaphor for me. It's like I have a tattoo on my arm that says just jump. And I did that for my first bungee jump in Singapore. And for me, it's a metaphor for life in terms of just do that thing that your body's telling you not to do. Whether in real estate, it could be that phone call, for example. It could be just saying hello to someone that you should have said hello to. Is it closing the deal? What is it that's like stopping you and like scaring the shit out of you that you just need to just take action and you'll probably be okay?
Yeah.
Do you find that's the same for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I have all of those moments and all of those doubts. And the same thing when it even comes to getting out of the car and going into a listing presentation that I feel is out of my league or more than what I deserve. Or it's just like 3, 2, 1, get out of the car, go step in the door and have a conversation. We're all human. We're all in this together. They want to understand who you are as a person. If you can connect with people and you can build relationships, you're going to get far further in life than if you were to, sit in the car and doubt yourself or not pick up the phone and not make that phone call. Like that's a relationship that you could be making. So it's just, exactly the same thing.
Mm. How do you manage all of this and you're traveling and you're selling good numbers? As I said, you've done, correct me if I'm wrong, but over 100 million in sales. Was that really recently? Yeah, amazing.
In the last 4 years. So I've been in sales. Now I jumped straight from property management.
Yep.
Straight into sales 4 years ago. I was probably 3 years later than I was really ready for it, but I'd chased reality TV and pageants and charity events and all sorts of things that I was doing before I was ready to give up my weekends. And I'm an all-in type of person. So I got to the point where 4 years ago I said, you know what? I have enough experience in residential real estate behind me. It's now time to put me and my business first and, jump into sales. I'd always been around real estate and property all my life. I'd been through properties that my parents were renovating growing up. So I'd spent most of my weekends and public holidays and school holidays like painting walls and probably being a hell of a nuisance to my parents more than anything. But I'd always been around it. So I thought, you know what, let's just jump all in. And that's what I did. I'd actually did my first sale of a waterfront property before I'd finished up with my portfolio and property management.
Wow. Well done.
Thank you.
Firstly, actually, I'm going to go back. Do you think everyone here should do reality TV? Was it good or bad for your career? Did it help?
I'd always been interested in what happens behind the scenes. And I know that building a portfolio, building a profile, video and social media marketing is something that helps in today's world, especially with the advancements through AI and people knowing who you are.
Yeah.
If you don't have that online presence and platform, then people don't really understand what you're doing or really understand a way in which they can reach out to you. So I feel like all of that's just been a lot of character building. It's been part of who I am, regardless of like what are the struggles and things I've been through with health as well. But I was always interested to what happens behind the scenes. So reality TV, I was poached to go on The Bachelor.
Nice.
And so 3 years in a row, and I said, no, don't call me. Like, don't pester me. I'd worked so hard in pageants that I didn't want to be portrayed in a way that I wasn't. So you don't see me much on TV because I don't get involved in the drama. I feel like my career and the person that I am and what I've built over that period of time is far more superior than getting involved. It's a matter of being able to step away and see that from an outsider's perspective. But nonetheless, I had fun. So.
Amazing. So obviously reality TV is almost like the pinnacle of branding and getting yourself out there. For everyone in this room and everyone listening, what do you think are the steps that we need to take to actually just increase, I think in real estate, we need to target 5,000 people. I really genuinely believe that 5,000 people is enough to be successful. You've got a core patch, and let's say typically sometimes 1,000. But if we go a little bit more than that, we reach a broader number. How do we do it? What's in your case, what do you think we should be doing, even if you're just starting, I suppose?
I think you just have to do it all.
Okay.
And like that's easier said than done because there's only so much time in a day. But I think most people get very carried away in not actually taking the daily action. And those little tiny steps, like if you can do one thing every day that puts you towards whatever that dream or that goal is, it might be picking up a phone and making a phone call. It might actually be booking in that listing appointment. It might be booking to go do that skydive, whatever it is to step you that one step further in the direction that you want to go. It's just all those little steps that all build up.
What do you think are the keys to your success?
There's been no plan B.
Okay. So you just were full throttle straight ahead.
Yeah.
And
no plan B. I've always said that real estate is a place that I can't imagine me doing any other career. I think there's some wonderful directions that we can take, and it might not necessarily be property sales, but real estate as a whole and building those relationships. And it's really just a people game.
Yeah.
So if you've got a way of connecting with people, whether that be through social media, whether that be through your database, whether that be through people that you meet at open homes and running a first-class open home and making people feel like they're getting a first-class service and the red carpet rolled out for them, giving them the idea and the opportunities of off-market properties that you might have available. So it's just like all those connections and just making sure that people feel wanted and cared and loved.
There's a few people in this room that have actually only just started in real estate, so they're only a couple of weeks in, or they're just even considering joining the industry. If you were to go back in time, what would you do and how would you start? Let's say you don't have the reality TV behind you, you don't have the pageantry behind you. What are you doing? What does the first few months look like?
For the first few months, it would just be hard work. Picking up the phone call, letterbox dropping. If you can collaborate, I think collaboration's probably the biggest thing in an industry like this.
Can I say collaborate with who?
Collaborate with other agents.
Yeah.
People that have experience. Collaborate with someone that you know that wants to buy a property and you do absolutely everything that it takes to find a property that they want. And they'll remember the service that you gave them or the help that you gave them. So a classic example of that is, say you know a developer that wants a development site. You go out there and source that. Use that buyer, use that one person, that one connection that you have. That's all it takes is just one, and then grow from there. The very first thing I did, and I knew that having a platform behind me with video and social media, the first thing I did was filmed some videos. People probably thought it was a bit odd that I'm going into sales and I'm posting videos and I'm just giving like market updates on kind of what's going on. And we all have moments of being behind the camera being like, oh, that doesn't look right. Or I can't post that. I still do that today. And especially being so hard on myself, coming from a background of pageants and TV, of being very critical on what I look like and how I present. So I didn't want that to ever stop me in posting, because I knew that I had the experience behind me in residential real estate to just share my knowledge, share a little bit of that. You don't realize how much people will actually then start reaching out and go, oh yeah, I didn't know that.
It's such a good point. And I think a lot of people are stopped from trying any social media or video because, and like we run industry media and we're making a lot of videos all the time, every week. But a massive objection that we try and get across is, I just don't like the way I look. I just don't like the way I sound is a big one. I feel like I sounded really weird or whatever it is. What's your advice to people in that sense? I personally think that the biggest haters on people is almost themselves.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah, 100%. We are our own worst critic.
Yep.
And if you can just make that post, or you can get past the idea that you don't look right or that you don't sound right, because we are always going to see it differently to how anyone else sees it. But it's just a matter of being authentic. Be authentic to who you are and how you present as a person, and just post it out there. You might have 5 people see it. You might then start to have 100 people see it. And then you start to grow a little bit of a following, and you might have 1,000 people see it. But it's just a matter of starting. Just post it.
I think it's really interesting that if Miss Australia isn't happy with how she looks on camera sometimes, that it's like a saying for all of us that we can do it. You know, we can get out there, just comb our hair and just go for it. Because I think sometimes just almost consistency is better than just no action.
Yeah.
And sometimes maybe, okay, we weren't looking our absolute best, but do people really care if the value's there? Like for me, I think, why can't we just provide a little bit of education? Can we just be market experts in our area and just start there? I don't think we have to be the most glamorous person to say, yes, in Tenerife, this is the market update.
And it doesn't need to be a minute long. It can be 10 seconds.
Yep.
Just post something. And we all start at zero. I started at zero. I started at 0 sales, 0 clients, 0 people on my database. But it's just a matter of, again, that one foot in front of the other and actually starting.
Let's step back now and go talk about work-life balance. Because you do it really well, I think, from the looks of things. Probably better than me.
I don't know about that. I try.
How do you manage work, performance, fun, socialization, coming to events like this? How do you manage that? And what takes priority?
I don't really.
Okay.
I feel like business takes over my life.
Okay.
But you've got to have fun along the way. You have to love what you do. You have to have purpose and passion. Otherwise, what's the point in getting out of bed every day? But I feel like things come in waves. So sometimes business takes priority. Sometimes you've got a holiday that you've worked so hard for, that you've been looking forward to. And having things to actually look forward to will definitely help you work harder whilst you're there, because then you know that there's a bit of a green light at the end of the tunnel. But it's just a matter of, I do think that there's a way to have balance, but I don't think you can have balance all the time in every season. There
was a really cool framework that Matt Sarama, have you ever met Matt? Great guy, yeah.
Yes.
Buyers agent on the Gold Coast. I'm going to butcher what he said, but essentially he has a list of like 12 things that he wants to nail. It could be finance, friendship, socialization, business, whatever it is in his 12. And he actually puts them on a rotation. He goes, I actually will let myself down if I try and do everything all the time. So every quarter he goes, I'm going to focus on this quarter, let's say finances and business, and I'm going to have my friendships and family under that. And then from there, I'm going to work on my friendships and my sport and my health. So he has like this really cool way of actually just flipping it and helping himself enjoy and appreciating and being grateful for what he's doing, rather than being, oh, I didn't go to the gym today. I didn't make a social media post today, or whatever it is, and he gets upset. He goes, I'm just focusing on my core pillars of this quarter, and I find that really helps. Do you have anything like that at all?
Not exactly, but I just think that you need to, and I guess what I do for myself is that if I am well and if I'm healthy and happy, and I've been diagnosed with Crohn's disease and rheumatoid arthritis, so I've got all sorts of health issues that I also have to manage on the side, regardless of this crazy life that I do live, and I know that I try to fit everything in, and sometimes my family think I'm absolutely crazy. But I just think that it's a matter of, if you've got your health in check and you are happy, then everything else is going to flow a lot easier when it comes to work and life and family and friendships and booking in the travel that you can look forward to. It's just a matter of kind of future planning. And I think property management taught me a lot of that, is actually looking ahead in what your diary looks like and what your year is going to look like, rather than just thinking about what's happening today and this week.
Yeah. I'm always intrigued with someone that, or people that are really successful. You just told me earlier that you just bought your 5th property. Is that correct?
Yeah.
It's amazing. You've done all these things. You've been on TV, as we've been discussing. What gets you out of bed, and like what keeps driving you to perform? Like, could you just sell your properties and go live on the beach somewhere and just go, I'm done?
That sounds nice, but I feel like that could dry up pretty quickly too.
Okay.
And that won't give me much purpose. Like it'll be fun for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Might even be fun for a month. But by that point in time, I still feel like as human beings, we need passion and purpose in our life to be able to get out of bed every day and do what we do. And it's not an easy industry to be part of, but there is lots of great benefits to it too.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think I like van life, and then I do it for 2 weeks, and I'm like hit my head 100 times, and like I'm over this. You know, it's just too. I can only look at the mountain so many times before I'm like, I'm done.
I'm never doing van life again.
Oh, interesting.
So we went up to go skydiving when we went up and did heli jumps over Whitehaven Beach. I'm like, this will be fun. We'll get a camper van. And the first 2 nights, they end up full of bugs and mosquitoes.
Yeah.
I've realized I'm just not fitted for it.
Yeah, fair enough. There's more to life.
Yeah.
Gemma, we're going to finish off with a couple of questions. Big one that we ask everyone is, what does success look like to you?
Success to me would be having a bit of a balance on everything that happens between health and happiness, because without health and happiness, that's first and foremost, then the rest of everything else in your life can't flow. So it would be, and my friends and my family, and just enjoying what you do. Like if you're really not enjoying what you're doing, quit the industry and do something else. Like maybe it's not for you, but whatever it is that you're doing, be all in.
Yeah. Great advice. What do the next 5 to 10 years look like for you?
The next 5 to 10 years, probably just progressing on what I am doing, continue to build my business, grow a family. I want to do some developments myself, keep growing my property portfolio, look after my health.
Would you say you're content?
I feel like I'm never content. I know that I look back at my life and I know that I've done a lot, but I don't know whether contentment is ever even a feeling, because I feel like you meet one goal and the goalpost moves. And I think that a lot of successful people that I know and people in business, they all do the same thing.
Makes sense. I mean, to jump out of a helicopter or jump off something 180 times, like typically someone would do something once and be like, yes,
I did that.
I killed that. And then you're like, no, I'm going to go high. I'm going to go off a helicopter. I'm going to land on the beach. What? I don't know. It's like, seems like it's going to be forever ongoing. What's the ultimate goal for you? Are you going to jump out of space or?
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I probably reached that. The ultimate goal in skydiving, if you're talking about skydiving, was to jump over the pyramids in Egypt, which I did do last year. And then I'd always wanted to do a heli jump. I'd always wanted to jump out of a C-130, which when you jump out of one of those, you feel like you're being hit by a bus. That's another feeling altogether. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know. We'll soon see. Gemma White, thank you so much for joining us on the Call Me Successful podcast. You've been absolutely amazing and you're genuinely inspiring to many people. So we hope we take the people here and the people watching take a lot of value from this. We look forward to seeing what you get up to in the next 5-10 years.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Continue with the same velocity. Jump to think about it later.